Welcome to the deep dive. If you've been paying attention to the business world, you probably know the ground beneath us feels like it's shifting.
It really is.
Authority is being questioned everywhere. Expectations are just constantly changing with instant communication and trust. That, essential foundation for everything.
Yep.
It feels more fragile than ever.
It's not just a feeling, it's really the new normal.
Mm.
And our sources for this deep dive, they confirm a fundamental, critical realization for anyone in leadership today.
Which is what?
In this kind of volatile environment, simply having credibility, just being good at your job and following the rules, it's just not enough anymore. Not for lasting influence.
And that's the core of our mission today. We really need to unpack why that lasting influence now demands something much, much deeper. Something like integrity.
Exactly.
We're going to try and show you the strategic blueprint for moving from leading just by your title to leading by your presence. Integrity isn't just a soft skill.
No, not at all. Think of it as the strategic infrastructure. It's the invisible architecture that all genuine leadership is built on.
Okay, the invisible architecture. I like that.
We're really defining how this internal quality, integrity, becomes a powerful competitive advantage in a world that's constantly on edge.
So let's start with the changing stakes. We're running global businesses, often in these hybrid structures, and the speed of communication is, it's instant.
And it radically speeds up the consequences when there's an ethical slip-up. The sources are really clear on this. Reputations built over decades can.
They can collapse overnight. One leaked email, one bad decision.
We are fully entrenched in what people are now calling the trust economy.
The trust economy.
Yeah. Institutions are battling this widespread cynicism and the old corporate rule, people follow the org chart. That's been completely replaced.
So now what happens?
Now, people only follow leaders they genuinely trust. And that's why integrity becomes the rarest and therefore the most valuable commodity. It's like organizational gravity.
It holds everything together.
It holds everything together. And when it weakens, the system just fragments. Cynicism takes over.
What's fascinating here is the shift this requires. I think a lot of leaders confuse compliance with integrity.
They do all the time. Compliance is just about checking the boxes. You follow the policies, meet the minimum standards, you manage your external image.
It keeps you from breaking the law, basically.
Basically. But genuine influence, that requires conviction. And conviction ensures you stay aligned with your core values, even when it's inconvenient or costly.
So compliance minimizes legal risk.
And conviction maximizes moral authority. You see the difference, right? A company can be perfectly compliant with environmental laws.
While lobbying behind the scenes to weaken those same laws.
Precisely. And that disconnect is exactly where trust dies. We need leaders who embody integrity, not just perform it.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So if integrity is the architecture, what are the defining internal shifts needed to rebuild a leader from the inside out?
Right. This is the core transformation. There are 3 critical personal shifts you have to make.
Okay.
Shift 1 is from appearance to authenticity.
From appearance to authenticity.
Yeah. There's just immense pressure in leadership to present this perfect facade. We see it on social media, in boardrooms, everywhere.
And that can be so corrosive.
It is. Authenticity means living an undivided life, where your private choices actually reflect your public promises.
We see that danger all through history. Look at the ancient accounts of King Saul. He was so worried about how he looked, about getting approval.
That he put public performance ahead of personal conviction. He disobeyed clear instructions just to save face with his troops.
And that's what a modern CEO does when they post about work-life balance while their team is completely burning out.
It's the exact same dynamic. And you can contrast Saul's performance anxiety with, say, the accounts of King David. Despite his very serious failings, he always had this posture of raw, unvarnished honesty.
You have to shed the mask.
You do. Okay, so shift 2 is from power to stewardship.
From power to stewardship, redefining leadership.
Exactly. It's not a prize to be won. It's a sacred responsibility. The perspective has to shift from what can I gain from this to
how can I best serve the people and resources entrusted to me?
yes, it's a radical inversion of power. The sources talk about defining greatness as service, where the highest authority is used to benefit others.
But how realistic is that? I mean, ambition is often what gets you to a high position in the first place.
It requires deep intentionality.
Yeah.
You don't abandon influence, you just reorient its purpose.
Yeah.
You go from being a possessor of authority to being a protector of the institution.
And that changes how you handle everything. Conflicts, money, succession.
Everything. And that leads to shift 3, from ambition to legacy.
Okay.
Unchecked ambition is all about the short term. This quarter's profits, personal awards, market share.
Legacy is different. It measures achievement by the impact that lasts beyond your time there.
It's about building a culture and systems that last. You're not asking, how high can I climb? You're asking.
What foundation will still be standing 50 years from now?
Exactly. And we see that with figures like Moses. He had immense political power right there in Pharaoh's court. But he chose hardship with his people.
Because he was looking ahead to his reward. Not a personal reward, but the lasting establishment of his community.
And that's ethical foresight. It lets you make tough calls like divesting from a profitable but polluting sector, even if it hurts in the short term. It shifts the goal from success to significance.
Okay, so those are the internal shifts. Let's get practical. Let's talk daily guidance. Integrity has to be lived, not just, written in a mission statement.
Absolutely. The sources talk about combining skillful hands, which is competence, with integrity of heart, which is character. You need both.
You need both to truly lead.
And character is forged in the small, consistent actions nobody sees. So we distill this down to 4 essential daily disciplines.
Okay, let's hear them.
Discipline 1, truthfulness in words. Your word has to be your absolute bond. We're told, let your yes be yes and your no, no.
So it's not just about not lying.
No, it's more than that. It's eliminating exaggeration, misdirection, that carefully crafted corporate spin.
But doesn't the modern world sort of require some spin, especially in a crisis? Can't the unvarnished truth sometimes cause chaos?
That is the critical challenge. And integrity doesn't forbid strategic communication, but it demands that it's aligned with the truth. You must communicate what is true, even if it's incomplete for strategic reasons.
I see.
The problem is when half-truths are presented as the whole truth, or when bad news is just buried. Untruthfulness breeds cynicism so fast.
And the damage to trust is permanent.
It always is. Okay, discipline 2, transparency in decisions. We call this opening the book of leadership.
Which doesn't mean sharing every single detail. That would be paralyzing.
Right. It means being transparent about the process and the principles behind your decisions. When decision-making is opaque, rumors fly, people disengage, they resist the what because they don't understand the why.
The great historical example of this is Joseph in Egypt. He didn't just interpret the dreams, he laid out a clear, transparent 7-year plan.
Exactly. He showed the logic, the process, the risk mitigation. And his counsel was so clear, so data-driven, you might say, that it led to immediate, profound trust.
And what's the third one?
Discipline 3, accountability in systems. Integrity just can't thrive in a vacuum. Accountability is a safeguard. It's like iron sharpening iron.
So you need to institutionalize it. It can't be optional.
You need structural checks and balances, independent boards, real audits, whistleblower protections that actually work. You have to build a system that makes it risky to do the wrong thing.
And the final discipline, the ultimate test.
Discipline 4, courage under pressure. This is the furnace where real integrity is revealed. Courage is being willing to take a short-term hit for a long-term principle.
Like Daniel, continuing his daily practice even when a royal decree forbade it, putting his career and his life on the line.
It's about holding firm to a non-negotiable. And the key insight here, which the sources stress again and again, is that the cost of compromise always exceeds its temporary convenience.
You always pay for it later.
Always. In lost trust, in diminished influence. Integrity isn't about comfort. It's about being congruent under fire.
So integrity is tested in conflict. How do successful leaders actually prepare for that crucible? It's one thing to talk about it, another thing to live it when the stakes are high.
They use 3 proactive strategies to build what we call moral muscle memory.
Moral muscle memory, okay.
Strategy 1, anchor and clarity. You have to define your non-negotiables long before the test ever arrives.
This means having a clear code of conduct for yourself, for your team, that overrides immediate pressures. Like Peter and John, when they declared they had to obey their core convictions rather than human authority.
Their line was already drawn. If you wait until the moment of pressure to decide your values, the pressure will always win.
Right. What's strategy 2?
Strategy 2, surround with truth tellers. We call it the circle of truth. You have to actively find people who will challenge your blind spots, not just clap for you.
That is so hard for successful leaders. They get used to hearing how great they are.
And that's exactly why they fail. You need a mechanism for dissent. Think of the prophet Nathan confronting King David, a necessary check on absolute power.
So in a modern company, you need to build psychological safety so people can speak truth to power.
If your accountability partners always agree with you, you surrounded yourself with mirrors, not truth tellers.
And the last one.
And finally, strategy 3, practice ethical foresight. This is where you anticipate potential ethical dilemmas, financial pressure, conflicts of interest, and you mentally rehearse your principled response in advance.
So you run ethical fire drills. If a client offers a bribe disguised as a consulting fee, you've already decided what your answer is.
Precisely. You build that moral muscle memory. So when the real emotional pressure hits, your rehearsed principled response is already programmed in. You don't rationalize your way into a compromise.
And this all comes together in what the sources call the integrity audit, regularly checking if your choices, big and small, are actually aligned with your stated values.
It's that constant rhythm of self-correction. And to reiterate the profound takeaway here, we're in a world where AI can automate almost anything.
Right.
But integrity is the one leadership trait that technology cannot replicate. It cannot replace it. It is the ultimate human differentiator in the future.
So we encourage you to choose that path of principle over popularity, of legacy over temporary ambition. Lead not with a superficial performance, but with deep, unshakable conviction.
As you go forward from here, we want you to pause and really contemplate this powerful question from our sources.
If people followed only what they saw me doing, not what I said I believed, would they trust me more or less?